Guys, let's talk fingerboards. I have only been in the fingerboard scene for about 5 years now, since it is 2020. I started getting into it as soon as 2020 started. Can you believe this guy? We're not even 10 seconds in and he's already messing up what he's trying to say. What I was trying to say was that I've been in the fingerboard game for about 5 years now, since it is 2025, because I started really getting into the scene in 2020. Let's continue. Goddamn guy. That doesn't mean that I only found out about them in 2020. No, fingerboards I've always known about. I've known about them since a very young boy. I remember one of the first people to actually get me into fingerboarding is Finger Skate Selective is really the one that kind of got me introduced to the fact that fingerboards are real outside of tech decks. I got tired of sitting up. Sorry guys. I would have been in about 3rd grade when the craze, when the want for fingerboards really started to get ignited in me, but I was still using tech decks prior to. As a kid, I just always wanted a fingerboard to just look at and inspect and just kind of go, wow, like this is literally a skateboard sized down. I've always liked, you know, little toys and shite, so having a small skateboard kind of made sense. And it's not like it was just cosmetic, because you see some of the shite that these dudes pull off with their fingers on a little skateboard. It's nuts. It's not just cosmetic at all. Then around 2018, I want to say the craze kind of had like a kickback, you know, like it kind of came back in. 2018 would have been 8th grade, and yeah, I was still tech decking it up. I had a friend, Ryan Lee, in my class, and he also had some tech decks. He had a broken knuckle fingerboard as well. That was like one of the first wooden fingerboards I had ever seen. I was watching a lot of Chubby Muffin at the time. I knew about Collier decks. It was just really quite the scene that I wish I could have been in, but never could get into. Remember around 2018 too, Ryan Lee had like a bunch of purple grip tape, so all my fingerboards came equipped with purple grip tape, because I would take the grip off and then I would just grip it with the purple grip tape that he gave me. I believe he did end up giving me that green broken knuckle fingerboard, but I must have broke it. I wish I remember the ends of that fingerboard, because that was a cool fingerboard, man. Of course it still had the Tech Deck trucks on it, but how the whole world works. Then 2019, I went to Quebec and I got a tech deck as well. I believe it was a 32, because at the time they were coming up with the 32 millimeters. You weren't seeing that beforehand, and I thought that was really damn sick. Tech decks were really starting to up their game. But the thing about the 32 millimeter tech decks is that the concave on it, when you looked at the bottom, it's like it was just so sharp of a concave, like unbelievably sharp. And when you would do board slides on it and the board would start to get some wear, you could just see just that concave line. But eventually, very late 2019, I was able to get a broken knuckle fingerboard fully set up, because they were so cheap. They were so cheap and they were pretty much the real deal. So I got myself a broken knuckle fingerboard. I don't have that anymore. Caden has it, but never matter. It was fun while it lasted. I definitely used it for about a week, and then after the week was up, I told myself, yeah, I need the real deal. Like, a broken knuckle fingerboard is not gonna cut it. So right after Christmas of 2019, I got some Black River trucks and I got a Vividwood fingerboard. Right before I bought this Vividwood fingerboard, I really did my research on kind of just what fingerboards I wanted. I knew I really wanted a real wear graphic fingerboard. And Vividwood, they claimed they had it, so I thought, you know what, I'll go with a Vividwood. And this was the graphic. It's obviously moshed up now. You can see that I clearly wore it down more than what I actually wore it down to. This was a pretty nice graphic though. I liked it a lot. I got it with 32 millimeter Black River trucks and some Joy-Cult wheels. So like right out of the rip, I was like doing good for myself. I had this FB for a few months because it was like pretty much right around the time that like spring had come into play, and by the time I got my second FB, it was already like pretty much summertime. So summertime of 2020, is that true? Yeah. Summertime of 2020, I got this genius deck right here, also a 32 millimeter. I forgot to preface that the broken knuckle fingerboard that I had was a 34 millimeter, so I thought if I tried a 32, then I would kind of get a good idea for what I prefer. And shortly after this fingerboard, I upgraded to a 34. This board was very short-lived, because I ended up breaking this FB. 2 fingerboards in, already breaking fingerboards. I was skating down the sidewalk and I had it in my right pocket, and I'm a goofy skater, so if I'm likely to fall forward, I'm gonna fall on my right side, and that's exactly what happened. I fell on my right side, and the damn truck went up into my damn hip. It hurt, man. I still have a photo of the aftermath. If I can pull it up, I'll put it on the screen right now. Bam! There it is. Yeah, very sad stuff. Shortly after that board, I ended up getting some new trucks because the trucks also got affected, and I got some new wheels as well because one of the wheels ended up just like completely... I needed a whole new setup. So I went back to Genius Decks. This is his charcuterie graphic. I can't really read what it says on there anymore, but it says something. 34mm this time around because I knew what the 32 felt like, and I wanted to try, you know, a nice 34 with real 34mm Black River trucks. I don't think I'll do anything besides Black River in my life, but hey. Joy Cult wheels as well, so just a completely new setup, just like way new. You can see I have the brick graphic on there as well. That took a hot pretty minute. I like how it came out though. Before it was just the middle that was brick, but then I decided to extend it so that the tail would also be brick. To this day, I'd say this grip job is probably like my coolest. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty damn cool. I do like me some bricks, so you know. And in the same shipment of this FB, he sent me a free FB along the side. I didn't know that there was going to be a second one in there until I opened up the box and saw the second FB. Here's the grip job for this one. I posted in my story my brand new FB, but I didn't post this one because again, I didn't know if this was accidentally sent with or not. And I didn't want to, you know, message him and him say that it was an accident. So I thought, you know, let me just hide it. Posted this to my story and he's like, yo, did you see the other FB I sent you? And I was like, wait, that wasn't an accident? Like, you did that on purpose? Why'd you do that on purpose? And he's like, cause you're a loyal customer. You came back. And keep in mind, this was only my second order. I had done this one like a few months prior. And I know damn well that he's got other people out there who are buying from him way more frequently than I am. But yeah, this guy sent me 2 FBs in one order. I could not have guessed. I used this one for a little bit, not too long, because I think I just wanted to kind of start using this one. But yeah, those were my 2 Genius decks right here in the same order. Crazy shite. Shout out Genius Decks for that, man. Seriously. Shortly after those 2 Genius Decks, I decided, you know what? It's time that I go professional, okay? Because all this time that I'm fingerboarding, I'm hearing Collier this, Collier that, and I thought, okay, today's the day I get a freaking Collier deck. Here it is. It is the Tony Pork graphic. When I bought this deck, I bought another deck as well. It was his werewolf graphic. 2 Collier decks were ordered in this order. And eventually, I got the 2 boards, but this guy sent me 2 Tony Pork graphics. Yep. Yeah, he did. So I messaged him and I was like, yo, you had a little bit of a whoops here. I'm supposed to get the werewolf graphic as well. And honestly, I was more so looking for the werewolf graphic. So what this guy tells me is I need to send the accidental board back to him and then he can send me the werewolf deck. So I send him the deck back and eventually he's like, you know what, we don't have the werewolf deck anymore, so let me just custom make a board for you. I was like, oh, custom board, that's really cool. Okay, yeah, let's do it. I tell him what kind of board I want and he's like, all right, man, I'm sending it out. He sends it out and it never gets here and I'm like, yo, what happened to the board, man? It's not here. And he's like, ah, dang it, I must have sent it to the wrong person. So he makes a second custom deck and then he sends that one out. I don't remember what the problem happened there, but something else happened. And eventually it just led to me saying, all right, man, just give me the refund and I'll go on about my merry way. Now I know I just condensed all of that into very, few sentences, but keep in mind that whole exchange from me getting the 2 boards, the 2 same boards, to me getting a refund was over the span of 10 months. This guy took 10 whole months to pretty much for me to get a refund in the end, which is really damn sad because Collier decks are the damn best. But yeah, 10 months, I will never get over that. So I told him to give me a refund, but instead of him sending me the money, I told him, hey, send it to Genius Decks instead. Because Genius Decks actually wanted to do a custom graphic for me, and he could do a custom graphic for me. So I told him what I wanted my graphic to look like, and Genius Decks pulls this out his arse. I gave him an example of what I wanted. I sent him... I've totally done this on my channel before. I don't know what video that would have been, but the example that I gave him was this board. That board, I sent him that. And I didn't send him that because I was like, hey, I want you to do this graphic but on a fingerboard. I just told him this is like the boards I like most. A white deck with a rectangular something in the middle. And I told him just do whatever you want in the middle of that graphic.
So he does this, and he's like, can you see the inspiration from this board and this board? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I can. Interesting stuff. I definitely use this board quite heavily. It may not look too much like it, but dude, let me tell you, Genius decks, they are hard to wear down. Like, they take a while, man. It is no joke. I forgot to mention too, at this point, once I would have got this deck, that would have been August 25th, 2021, okay? So I've already been just a little over a year into my fingerboarding addiction. Now nearing more like November, maybe December 2021, I got another Vivid Wood board. Yep, I decided that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boards later, I'm going to go back to the very first people that I bought a fingerboard from, and I'm going to go back to Vivid Wood. Spoiler alert, you guys, this graphic is my favorite of all the graphics I've got. It's not my favorite fingerboard, but don't get me wrong, this board is really damn good. Like, this board is the reason that I want to get another Vivid Wood. I haven't gotten another Vivid Wood since, but he doesn't really make a whole lot of graphics. This board though was seriously awesome, and the bottom ply is such a nice blue. I've seen other boards with this graphic, and one of them was like a red graphic underneath, and it just looked nowhere near as good. This board though, holy hell, it looks so freaking beautiful. I had this board from the start of 2022 up until, I want to say, like close to like March/spring area of 2022. So I'm wrong about that. I got that board November 16th, it seems, of 2021, and I didn't get a new board until, hold on, bear with me for a second, late March 2022. So I had that board for a good November, December, January, February, March, a good 4 months. So, you know, lasted me a good while. I forgot to say as well, when I had this board, there was just something in me that just continued doing Nollie tricks. Okay, I was doing all the nose grinds, all the crooked grinds. I don't know what it was, but when I look back on this board, whenever I talk about this board, I always call it the Nollie deck, because I was just doing so much nose shite with it. No, I was not doing any booger sugar, alright, that devil's dandruff. It was just the nose board, because I just kept using the nose on it so much, man. Like, I remember the nose had so much like wear on it before the tail ever did. I don't know what it was about that board, and I've never really had another experience like it. But you know what? I will say that this board is kind of thanks to, I'm going to thank it for helping me kind of get all my Nollie stuff in check. That was a lot of words. I don't think there was one cut in that. See ya! I believe the reason that I wanted to get another fingerboard after this one is because Subliminal Fingerboards came out of the woodworks again after years of being, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but Subliminal Fingerboards, they shut down for like several years, and I didn't think they were going to come back, and then they came back. The reason I wanted a Subliminal Fingerboard is because of this graphic right damn here. This YouTuber, Garrett Ginner, I don't know his damn name. He made a video back in like 2014, 2015 talking about a tech deck versus a real fingerboard. And when I saw that graphic, oh my god. Dude, that board is so freaking sexy, and I've actually spoke about the Subliminal about it since, if he's ever considering to bring it back, or if he would ever just like, you know, if I slipped him some money under the table, if he would, you know, make me that board. But he said that, you know what, that was a different era of Subliminal, and he doesn't even really remember how he made the graphic to begin with. So this was the board. This was my first ever Subliminal fingerboard. Here's a look at the graphic. Very nice. At the time, I didn't really fancy the whole blue look, the lime blue bottom ply and the lime blue top ply, but at least it was, you know, it wasn't a natural ply. Around the same time that I ordered this fingerboard too, I ordered a Suave deck for the first time because I wanted to know just kind of what Suave was about. They looked like they had nice boards, they had nice graphics, so I thought, you know what, I'll just buy 2 at once, why not? And yeah, that's what I did. I bought 2 at once, and this came in like pretty much on the same day as this one that came in. So I kind of see these boards together, you know, they're paired. This board, I remember not really enjoying too much when I was using it. It definitely felt like a placeholder board in the moment. If anything, during this board, I was more so waiting until I would use this board. Did you hear that voice crack? I was waiting to use up this board so that I'm not just switching to another board while this one's still clean. So I definitely did use this one for at least a month. There's no way I didn't use it for under a month. And after this was all used up, I switched to the Suave deck. This board was really damn good. It surprised the hell out of me. And that's because this board was really reminiscent of a Collier deck. Collier decks obviously are freaking the best. So the fact that this was close to being replicated too was pretty awesome. I'm going to talk about this board again soon, but not yet. I'm going to wait till we get to my next Suave deck. After those two boards, I messaged Genius Decks again and I said, hey brother, let's do another custom graphic for me. I told him the same exact steps, blank deck and just whatever you want in the rectangle of that middle board. A few weeks later, he sends the board and here we go. This is it. It's got a nice blue graphic in the middle. Very nice stuff. The bottom ply on there too is really nice. But if you guys haven't noticed, it is like super unused, I'm sitting back down now. I figured I would preface that. The reason that this board is so unused is because of the homie from the skate park, Ryan R. I had like just freshly gotten this board. There were no marks on it at all. And I show Ryan, I'm like, yo Ryan, check out my new FB. Because that's what I do, you know. And whenever I see the skate park homies, I gotta tell them, like, yo, I just got a new FB, check it out. Ryan checks it out and he's like, yo, that's sick. And he starts pulling off some tricks on it. He's like, yeah man, you gotta do the foam grip tape, you know. Like, I don't know why you're doing the sandpaper grip tape. You gotta do the foam grip tape. And he starts trying to do some tail slide on one of the ledges that's there, and he's just going for this tail slide. Now remember what I told you, Genius graphics are really like, you really gotta work before seeing something pop up on there. So he's doing this tail slide and he hands me back the board. I don't even believe he ended up getting the tail slide. He gives me back the board and I just see this super ugly mark here. I mean, it was just an eyesore. Keep in mind, the board was like super blank, so the fact that that was the only thing showing just bothered me so much, man. I'm never letting Ryan use one of my freshly set up fingerboards. It got to the point where I was going out of my way to use like whiteout on my board so that I wouldn't see it as much. And it helped for a little bit, but it always came back. Also, I stand corrected. I would have had this board in July 7th, 2022. So still in the summer. It looks like I also ended up using this board for quite a while. I used it from July up until October 6th. So just about 2.5 months it seems. Honestly, that's longer than I thought. Here's a look at the grip job too, just in case you're curious. That is a Progression Skateboard Co. sticker. Unfortunately though, they've gone out of business since. What a shame. Maybe they'll come back in the future though, you never know. But by the time August came around, I just wanted a new board. I mean, it just hurt to see that freaking mark there so much that I needed something new to look at. Thankfully, Collier was doing a drop and that boy was dropping a new line of boards. Newly, never before seen graphics were coming our way and I knew I had to get my hands on one of them. Now, if I'm going to start talking about the newer Collier deck that I got on October 6th of 2022, I've got to mention the fact that we are getting in the now top 6 most recent boards. Yes, that's right, the top 6. Here they are in front of you. I know I just kind of gave away the next graphics to come, but to be fair, the next graphic after the one I'm going to show you, I've already set up on my YouTube, so it's not like you don't know what they are. Here it is, however. Okay, this is the Pink Believe Collier deck. I believe it came in other colors than pink, but I got it in pink, and he decided to put a yellow bottom ply on there, which honestly, like the board, since it's already pink, I feel like adding a yellow bottom ply, it's already a funky looking board, so the yellow and pink, they don't really throw me off, you know. I don't know, I kind of like the fact that it's yellow and pink. This was definitely an odd time during my life, though. I won't get too much into depth of why, but we'll just say it was because I had some women problems. Woman problem, not women problem, woman problem. Yeah, an odd time to be sure. Here's a look at the grip tape. You can see I've already switched from sandpaper to foam grip tape. I believe I forgot to mention that on my second Vivid Wood deck, that was the first time I'd use foam grip tape, and I decided to keep it that way because the grip tape that I had was just so motherfucking good. It felt so good, it felt so soft, it felt so good. So this deck is really what kicked off me starting to make
the foam grip tape the norm. Because before this, again, I had the sandpaper, that being my Genius blue board, the one with the ugly mark. Before that one, it was foam, and before that one, it was sandpaper. So, you know, I was just kind of flip-flopping back and forth, but this one is really what kick-started the foam being the baseline. This board was used from October through November, through December, through January, and through February. February 6th or 7th is, I believe, when I got a new board. What board might that be? That would be this board. Right, motor freaking here. Yes, this was probably one of my more favorite Collier deck graphics, I cannot lie to you. It is a Collier X Poly collab, and truthfully, man, it is a really nice board. Especially when it was like fresh out of the pack. It was just like so nuts seeing it with my eyes. It was really beautiful looking. But you can definitely tell that I've used the ever-loving hell out of it, because I mean, just look at that green that you can really see on the nose and that tail. I used this board for literally a year before I got a new fingerboard. A whole damn year, man. Over a year. Oh my god, dude. Here's a look at the grip job. You know, nothing too crazy, just a nice little pattern there. But yeah, I like this board a lot, man. This board was freaking sick. 2 Colliers back to back. Then a whole year and 2 months later, it was about time that I get a new FB. I hit up Genius Decks and I'm like, yo Brody, let's do this. Let's get a custom FB going. Homeboy hooks me up with the custom FB. Now here is the board, okay, and there's a couple things I have to say about this board. First of all, the bottom ply that's used on this board, he had been holding for me for damn near probably 2 or 3 years. I actually don't know how long, but it was a long time. He held it in a safe spot for me, and I even remember one time I messaged him asking if he knew where the ply was, and he didn't know where it was, but when it came around to finally making this board, he found it again. So that ply that he was holding for me is under here now, and it was just such a nice color. It was like a deep red, like a wine red almost, and man, what a sad life this board lived. Again, the voice crack, what's going on? I've already told the story on this channel before. If you want to hear the story, do I retell it? Screw it, I'll fly through it. I was skateboarding with my fingerboard bag on one day, and then I fell, and then I continued skating, and then when I sat down to, you know, go and sit and fingerboard for a second, I pulled my fingerboard out of my bag, and I went, what the hell, when the hell did this break? That's the thing about this board. I don't even know how I broke it. I don't remember the fall. I didn't hear a crunch. I didn't feel anything. So the fact that I pulled this out and it was broken was like really damn shocking to me. Really sad stuff too, because I didn't even, like, this board was so new, like super new. I decided to glue the tail back together, or was it the nose? I believe it was the nose that broke first. I glued the nose back together, and it lasted me a little long. I broke it again though. I seriously broke it again though, because I was climbing a fence while playing tennis with you, and when I got down from the fence, I had a bad landing and sat back down, and when I sat down from the jump, I sat on my fingerboard bag, which broke the nose again, so I had to re-glue it, and honestly, second time around of the gluing, it was better than the first time I glued it. But this board wasn't done. No, to give it the final blow, I was fingerboarding on my brother Gibson's head because he had a helmet on, Gibby. And when I nollied from his helmet to his back, the wheels tickled him and he ended up collapsing to the floor, which led my fingerboard to collapse as well because I no longer had a surface to fingerboard on. And when the board fell, he fell on it and his big arse broke the hell out of the tail. And dude, he was more hurt than the fingerboard was. I mean, the fingerboard's tail was like really busted up, but like he was like on the floor like wincing. He wasn't wincing, but he definitely felt it. Yeah, man, these boards are strong as frick. So I glued it back together, but by that point, I mean, it's gone through 3 breaks. Like, how good can the pop really be at this point? Another thing about Genius Decks too is that I freaking really like getting some of his boards because I like supporting the dude. He's a really sick guy too. I mean, him and I will just have chats. He'll reply to my stories that don't have anything to do with fingerboarding. I love him to death, but his boards, like, I don't know why I've gotten so many because they're not fit for me. I feel really bad saying that, and I'm definitely still gonna keep getting his boards. I don't know, the concave on it, like, it's pretty flat as is, and the tails the kicks are like pretty shallow, I feel like. I'm not gonna use this board as a reference though because again, both are broken. both nose and tail are broken, so can you be too sure? Thankfully though, I already had a backup in play for this board. Literally like a day before I got this board showed up in the mail. Now again, if you guys have been around on the channel, you'll know that I set this board up. I've set the last 3 up on this channel. It was a nice board, and honestly, it was kind of unexpected how nice this board was. But again, you're looking at it and you're going, why is it so unused? What about it? Why is it so unused? So one day I was BMXing hard, and when I went to ride on a curb, just imagine at the end of the curb, there's a right turn on the curb. The curb just has a sharp right turn. I'm riding on this curb, but I can't keep my stability going, so my front wheel goes off to the right in front of that right turn of the curb. This sounds really confusing. And I end up pretty much going over my handlebars because my front wheel hits into that curb that was making that right turn. And when I fell over my handlebars, I fell on my fingerboard bag and I broke the tail. The pop on it after was just lost. It really was lost, and it's a shame because I really wanted to see the blue come through that bottom ply, because it's a really nice blue, you know, like it looks really damn cool. Now this Suave deck is a little weird. While using this board, I realized that just like in Suave fashion, it really is reminiscent of Collier decks. So I took a Collier deck and I'm looking at them side by side, and honestly they don't really look the same. So then I take my old Suave deck and I put the 2 Suave decks side by side, because again, this is a new shape, okay, it's not the same shape as this one. I put them side by side and I'm looking at them and I'm realizing that this board, the first Suave deck I ever had, is much more, I don't even know how to word it, little? It just feels much less boxier than this board. And now when I look at this Suave deck compared to an actual Collier deck and I look at the differences, the similarities aren't really there anymore. So after breaking this board, I believe the board that I went back on, what board was I using? I think I went back to this board, which was kind of a shame because again, I had this board for a year. So the fact that I had to go back to this board just didn't sit right with me. So very shortly after I broke this board, I was already in the market for a new one. We have now reached September 21st, 2024. I went all the way out to Toronto to get some new trucks because I was really in need of some new trucks. I get to 6 Gates in Toronto, which is a fingerboard store that's local to me. And while I'm in there, I see this graphic, okay? I've admired this graphic before, probably 2 years prior, and I just really loved the look of it, seriously. Here I am, silly old me, I'm just here for some Black River trucks, and I end up leaving with Black River trucks and a Black River board. I set up this board on video, it's still on my channel, as you guys should know. I believe it's called my Black River setup, or just my, whatever, it's on here. And I used this board, man, I used it. But I really don't like the shape of it. For as an expensive board as it is, this shape is not for me. It feels really damn thin. The nose and the tail are really long. The tail on it is like quite pointy. There's just something ain't right about this board. It feels like if fingerboarders from like the early 2000s made a fingerboard, which honestly sounds like pretty damn correct because Black River has been around for a while, so it kind of makes sense. So I used this board for probably just a little over a month, maybe 2 months. Yeah, that sounds about right. I definitely used it for about 2 months. And by the time that the graphic got like this, keep in mind the graphic on this wore down so fast, like so much faster than any other board I've used. On the first day of me using it, like there was already a good amount of markings on there. So the Black River feel, I just didn't like it, and I just wanted that Collier feel in my hands again. So I decided to go back to this board from 2022. I used it for months, man. I used it for a long time before getting a new FB. I would have probably set this up late November, if not December, but I'm pretty certain that I set it up in November. I really wanted a new deck though, like so badly. I remember always fingerboarding with Caleb M. And every time I would, you know, go to admire my fingerboard, because again, you got to remember, when I was a kid, when I wanted a fingerboard, I just wanted to not only use it, but also just to admire the looks of it and just just how beautiful it is, the fact that there's such a small little skateboard in my hand. And whenever it came to me admiring this board and, you know, looking at it, I would just look at it and go, oh my god, I'm so fed up of having this old freaking board. Like, I need to get a new board soon. Not long into me reusing this board, I snapped that damn tail. Okay, well, snap is a bit of an overstatement, but I definitely broke it. I was fingerboarding with Caleb M again, and my fingerboard fell onto his ground, and I couldn't see the ground because it was just dark down there. The only thing that was lit up was the table that we were fingerboarding on. So I go to take a step to look at where I think it fell, and when I took that step, I just heard... Yeah, man, I broke that bloody bastard. I broke my frick out of that Collier. And since I broke that Collier deck means I had to downgrade even more to this damn Collier deck, which is honestly so much more worn up than this one. Actually, which one's more worn up? Yeah, definitely this one. So now I'm back on this board, and I feel even worse whenever I go to admire my fingerboard. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, holy hell, like, can we please just get a new FB? And then thankfully late February rolls around, if not mid-February. It's about to be my birthday, and thankfully my mommy hits me up with that
FB money.
I messaged Suave Decks because he kept posting on a story that he makes custom boards. So I message him and I tell him exactly what I would tell Genius Decks. Is there any way you can make a white deck and put a rectangle in the middle and put whatever you want in that rectangle? And he says, hell yeah, I can do that. So I would check up on him every now and then and see how the board's doing. And he's like, yo, dude, this is a one-of-one deck. Like, I like this board a lot. You will love it. Fast forward March 4th, a day after my birthday, and I receive this Suave deck in the mail. Now, I've already made a video on this board. It's, what, like 2 videos ago if you check my channel? And I've definitely gotten used to the board since. I like it a lot, but again, there is still that feeling of this is not a white deck. And he definitely went outside of the box when it came to the, you know, stick to the middle. Like I said in the video where I set this up, man, this is an ambitious board. And I know that he can make white graphics, so I don't know why he didn't choose a graphic that's completely white. Because if you guys can't tell, the Suave that's hidden behind there is a split ply. And he chose a graphic that was quite light so that when you, which is another thing that I found with Suave decks, is that his graphics are quite light. So when you look at them, it's like you can see the bottom ply, which is honestly kind of cool. With this deck, I felt like I could see that too. And it kind of made the deck kind of look like newspaper of sorts. I thought it was really sick. Same with this too. This board, like, it's, you know, you can tell it's like a purplish kind of graphic, but it really feels like the bottom ply, you can just ever so slightly see it through. And if all his boards were like that, where the graphic, you can slightly see through it to see the bottom ply, that would be completely understandable. But then I've seen other graphics of his where it's just pure white. And I honestly really wish that he did a pure white so that as I'm grinding and sliding, I would look at the graphic and go, wait, what the hell is that? And then slowly over time realize that there's actually a Suave graphic under there. So if I do get another Suave deck from him, you know, in some other day, some other time, I'm going to really reinforce the fact that I want a white graphic. And we are all caught up. That was all 17 of my boards. Now, if you're actually keeping count, you're going 17, Marshall, that was 16 boards. Yes, you are correct. After I broke this board and got 34mm trucks to go along with my next board, I didn't jump straight to the Collier deck. I jumped to an AK deck. Very unknown, but still around, I think. I don't know, they haven't made boards in quite a while. This is what the board looked like. Now, why don't I have it? I know you're just saying, Marshall, why don't you have it? Well, let me tell you. Now, everybody knows I have a lot of fingerboards, and I've gotten quite a handful of people asking if they could buy one of my fingerboards off of me. But, they're mine. They all have my history, and they're all graphics that I've got because I liked, and they all have, you know, a meaning behind it. So why is it that I don't have that board then? If you didn't sell it, where'd it go? Caden's sister, Callie, once lived in Ontario where I reside, but then moved to Alberta. Is it? She moved in... Ooh. FaceTime audio call, Callie, Rick.
Your call has
been forwarded to voicemail.
Alright, well, since she doesn't want to tell me when she moved out there, I'm gonna assume that she moved out, hold on. Honestly, looking back, it might have been like late middle 2022. Damn, she's been out there for a while. Yeah, so when she left, I wanted something for her to remember me by, and I decided to give her and her boyfriend one of my fingerboards. I put like a little string on it too, so it was like an ornament, you know, you could like hang it up in your car, you know, like on the mirror, or, you know, if it's Christmas time, you can hang it up on the tree. And that's where that board went. The only time I'm giving out fingerboards is if there's a good reason for it. That AK deck I used for, no joke, 6 days. Then I got the Tony Pork Collier deck board. There was an 18th deck, but it was never my main. It was like a full-on setup too. It had 34 Black River trucks on there, it had Joy Cults on there. The board was made by Caleb M. I went to Toronto on the 3rd of April, which is also Caleb M's birthday. And on that day, we ran into some really sick dudes. This guy Jesse and this guy Michael. Jesse had a skateboard on him, so it's, you know, I kind of just, it was my prerogative to show him my fingerboard. I think it's the first time I've ever used that word. The voice cracks again. I show him my fingerboard and he's like, dude, this is so sick. Like, this is goddamn awesome. We speak about it a little bit. I put my fingerboard away and he's like, oh, if only you had too. Without saying a word, I start unzipping my fingerboard bag and I start pulling out my second one. I hand it to him and he's like, what? No motherfucking way. He's like, can I have it? And I was like, can you have it? You know, it's the age-old question. I'm like, yeah, I'm not too convinced. He's like, okay, I'll give you a bag of gummies. And he pulls out a literal bag of gummies from Bulk Barn. I'm like, they're not even sour, so I don't know. He's like, all right, I'll give you a magnifying glass. And I'm like, I mean, that's not really a good deal. And he's like, oh, all right, I'll give you baby hammer. And he pulls out a little hammer. And I went, where did you get that from? And after I saw that baby hammer, honestly, I was kind of sold. You can see it hung up on my wall here. Can you see it? Can you see it? Good. Now, what sold this deal even harder was the fact that he pulled out a block of, not even, a cylinder of lean wax. Yeah, lean, you know, like the shite rappers drink, like, you know, lean.
Lean, the drug.
And I saw that wax, and yeah, it was a deal at that point because I badly needed wax. The wax that I just had was also part of a progression skateboard code. That wax was used up. I went to the skate park on the 19th of March, and when I went there, this guy asked for my wax, and he used it up to the point where it was just 2 little chunks. And he gave it back to me, and man, he didn't even say thank you until like 2 hours later, no joke. So I was out of wax, and I need wax a lot because I'm always grinding on shite. So anyway, Jesse has the fingerboard now. And that concludes all 18 of my boards. With all that being said though, I still have 2 fingerboards on the way. I'm not only waiting for Collier Dex to do another fingerboard drop so that I can get a fingerboard of his, but Caleb M, which is custom making me a board with the same instructions that I've told Suave and that I've told Genius Dex. And Collier Dex, but he never ended up making it. That's the other thing too. Months after we ever had that altercation, I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, those 2 custom boards that I asked you to make, did you ever take photos of them? Like, you know, did you? And he's like, you know, sorry man, I just deleted all the photos off my phone, so no, I got no photos of them. So that's a little skeptical. And he made 2 boards too. So, I don't know, you tell me what's what. Anyways though, 2 fingerboards on the way. 1 Collier deck, 1 Caleb deck. And there you go. Those are the stories of my fingerboards. Fingerboards of the ages. If you guys already haven't noticed either, I'm in a new room. I haven't moved houses, but I am in a new room. I was so tired of that dingy, dungy basement and having damn near no daylight. So me and my little bro Gibby, we switched rooms. It's
I've been switched as of the 21st of March, and it is the 8th of April right now. It's actually my mom's birthday. So many people's birthdays. So look out for more sunny content. I hate to make this video any longer, but I have to tell you guys my top 5 favorite graphics before we get out of here. Now, if you guys were paying attention, you know that this board comes in number 1, okay? This is the number 1 spot. Put it on the screen, thank you. Even with age, this board got even nicer looking. There are some boards where when you get it clean and you see it set up, it's just so beautiful looking, and then with age, it kind of loses its spark. That board was not one of them. Coming into second place, we have the Genius deck with the blue custom square in the middle. This board, when I first got it, it was so fly looking. I was almost debating saying that this board was nicer than this board, but after some thought, I still think this board comes into number 1. It's a shame I never got to use it completely though, because of that ugly marking on the tail. Frick you, Ryan. Coming into the number 3 spot, we have the Black River God Save the Scene board. This board, when I saw it for the first time on the internet, I thought, oh my god, that is such a clean looking board. I would love to have that board. Now, this is definitely one of those boards where with age, it definitely starts to lose its charm. When I first got it, it was seriously so beautiful to look at. I almost kind of wish I never used it like that, but I don't think I'm ever going to do that. Buy a fingerboard and just kind of leave it on display. That's just not my thing. If I get a fingerboard, I want to use it. Coming in 4th place, this is also another board where with wear, it kind of loses its spark. We have the Collier X Poly Collab. When I first got it, the white on that was like so brightening, deafening, beautiful. If you watch my video from 2 years ago, you will see me set this fingerboard up and you will see it clean out of the cage. Super beautiful. And coming in last, we have the Suave deck with Salvador Dali on it. A very nice board. I honestly didn't think this was gonna make the top 5, but yeah, it did. Something I'm noticing now too is that all these boards don't have any repeats. I really like how each one of these boards are made by individuals. We go from Vivid Wood to Genius to Black River to Collier to Suave. All different. Part of me though definitely want to choose either of these boards for last place, because this board is pretty nice when it's actually set up, and this board, frick, when I first set it up and it had no scratches on it, it was just I don't know if it was just because it was my first ever professional fingerboard, but it hit different. So those are my top 5 favorite FB graphics. Keep in mind it's not based off performance, otherwise the first 3 would be Collier decks. That's kind of unfair. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It is a long one, so if you're still here, you guys rock. I mean, we're talking like 40 damn minutes of you sitting through me talking about this shit. How do you not want to blow your brains out? And you had to watch me grind on the floor. You're sick. Marshall Acosta sitting at 578. Even when I correct myself, post-correcting myself, I still have to correct myself because people are always subscribing. It makes me so freaking happy. 578 subscribers! Yes! Hit that dislike before somebody else does, because I'm really freaking scared of that happening. Yeah, I mean, the video is already 42 minutes long, so I may as well literally tell you which one of my grip designs I favor the most. Okay, let's try and do this. No cuts, no editing, no whatever. First place has to be that brick job. I mean, do I even have to say why? Moving on to number 2, I actually don't have the board. It's the AK deck. I don't know what it is about that diamond on there, but it just looks so damn clean. So motherfucking supreme lean. Okay, number 3, we have the Pink Believe deck. I don't know what it is about that 3D, but I seriously love the way that 3D looks. And honestly, at the time when you use it, it honestly feels like a cheat code. It feels like you hit that pocket and it flips like crazy. Number 4, we have the Negative grip job. I mean, there's just, you never see anything like this. It is, look at how thin. Look at how thin that normal piece of grip is, okay? And moving on to last, we have the Starbucks grip gap. I don't know why I put it on the list, but every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, like there's something just so freaking beautiful about this freaking look. And that is the top 5. Let's just all set them up here. We got the number 1, we got the number 2. I actually don't have the number 2, so we're gonna try and edit it in there. We got the number 3, we got the number 4, the negative grip, and here it is. There is all of them. Can we try and edit it and I want you to be the reason that I say a different subscriber count in the next video, and if I had just one last thing to tell you, it would probably be tell your friends about me. See ya.